Oh, hi YouTube. I forgot.
Yeah,
You're-
there's a cold open, Brandon.
Did you see? They just snuck in and walked in, and they were like, "Hey."
Yep.
I was about to say bad words.
Like
Oh.
what? Fuck, shit, and piss?
Whoa, Keith.
I was
You're
gonna
not
do
supposed
ha-
to say that in the first 10 minutes. You lose monetization options.
Guess
You
what?
swear.
We don't get enough viewers, so fuck that shit. Joke's on you, YouTube. We're not popular.
Yeah, donkey butt. Hell damn fart.
All right, let's get on with the show.
Cranium.
Drop that logo. Welcome to the Abingers podcast, where we assemble weekly to binge the MCU and all things nerd, old and new. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, TikTok at Abingers Podcast. That is one word, ladies and gentlemen, ABINGERS Podcast. Give us a like, a comment, and let us know what you think of the show. You can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Abingers Podcast. Support us for $1 today and get a shout out, access to our Discord, and all kinds of fun things. That is patreon.com/Abingers Podcast. Hope to see you there. But I'm just one of your hosts. My name is Brandon. I can't do it alone. Emmy, how you doing?
Ask me about my wiener.
Okay, well, I don't know if I want to, but that's a choice. Keith, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Chris Hemsworth himself admitted that Thor Love and Thunder sucks butt. So I feel very validated today.
Well,
Yay.
You know what? Let's speak of validated. Guys, we have two patrons, and I don't know if one got a shout out because it was 4 weeks ago and I wasn't here. So we're going to give them a shout out, as well as one that was 2 days ago. So two new patrons in the last month. So Nathan Ellingson and Ben Clark.
Hi, Nathan.
Ben Clark and Nathan. Nathan, thank you guys for supporting the show. And Keith is one's Canadian. Look at that.
Whoa.
Bring in the Canadian.
I know him.
Bring in the
I
Canadian.
don't want to take credit for bringing in the Canadian, but if you are listening because of me, thank you for encouraging me to continue.
If you're listening because of him, it's a boot damn time.
And we just lost him.
Oh, Nathan, don't quit. Don't leave the Patreon, Nathan. We just got you. But yes, Nathan, Ben, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate the support. We're going to dive in now. X-Men 97, Episode 8, 3-parter. And this is Tolerance is Extinction. Oof, part one. Part one. My goodness. So I'm going to give some quick thoughts here.
Spoiler alert. Did you do that?
I'm doing it now, Emmy. Gosh, I'm acting like I was going to do it, but I wasn't. So Emmy, really,
I know. Okay,
she was justified in
Brandon,
calling me
you
out.
know what you should do?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert's very important these days.
Uh-huh.
Have you
I
done that yet?
Have I, guys, I was going to do it. Really wasn't.
Sorry.
Thanks, guys.
It's really fun to poke the bear.
Spoiler alert for those who have not listened to X-Men, or excuse me, listen. I keep saying listen. If you have not watched X-Men 97 Episode 8, please do not listen any further. We are going to spoil it. So here's your warning. Leave now. See you later. My friends warned me, so I'm warning you. Don't. Just don't. Okay. I think they're gone.
Stay down.
Only you can prevent spoiler fires.
Only you can prevent wild spoilers. I think both sound really good. All right, so guys, this episode had a shit ton of things in it, and a lot of action though. Where we've talked about like a lot of dialogue. And if you notice about our podcast, whenever it's action heavy, a lot of times we go quicker because there's not as much to really dissect except boom, boom, pow, pow, shit hit the fan. However, the story continues to actually call back even what we heard in episode 1. is Tolerance is Extinction. It is pretty remarkable how everything is tying together in this bow, and a lot of people are claiming that this is one of the best X-Men stories, and tying from a lot of different source material and a lot of different comics, and it is getting high praise, and rightfully so. I'm here for the ride. I'm here for the 3-parter. And this one didn't feel like, okay, let's wait for the second and third now. It was a standalone complete episode, in my opinion, which is good. A lot of times where we see these part 1s, part 2s, and 3s, and I'm curious if part 2 continues this trend. It feels a little empty. It feels a little, I don't know. I didn't really get as much out of that. This didn't feel that way. It felt like a complete full story while still, hey, hold on, we got more to tell you. So overall, very vague thoughts, very generic thoughts. We'll dive deeper as we go along, but I really enjoyed X-Men 97 episode 8. Thumbs up, big thumbs up for me. So we are going to move along to my friend Emmy. What did you think of episode 8?
All right. I'm absolutely lost. I thought I had it. I didn't have it. It's still good. Seems like a total
I'm lost
clusterfuck.
and I'm happy.
Yeah. People are saying it's one of the best X-Men stories ever told. I have no idea. Sure, probably it's one of the only ones I've seen. So cool. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. I'm just here for the ride. Like I've said before, this is not made for me, and I'm okay with that. I'm enjoying watching it. I can tell it's a good story. Do I know what's going on? Not in the slightest.
That's a testament to how much it scripts you, because holy shit, the stuff that's not made for you and it sucks, it's so sad. But when it's not made for you and you're on board anyway, like that's a challenge to get you.
What if they were all like X-Men?
That
and maybe season 3 of What If should be.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm very curious because it does seem like such a clusterfuck at this point. I'm curious now to see how they're going to make everything okay at the end, because we do know that there are going to be more seasons of this. So something has to come to some sort of resolution.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious.
Does it have to? That's a bigger conversation later. We'll get to that.
Oh, that'll piss me off. That'll piss me right off.
What constitutes as resolution?
A resolution. It doesn't have to all be fixed.
Everyone's happy and everything's back to normal.
It's just, it has to have some sort of resolution. It can't just be like a cliffhanger. Like if this was the last episode, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
They're just like this. At least these 3 episodes need to have a rising action, the denouement, the falling action. Like they have to have.
Don't get
story
teacher on us.
plot.
Don't get teacher on us. You're gonna put people to sleep. No. But either way, I'm gonna throw it over to Keith because Keith has a clue on what's happening in this series. And Keith,
I don't believe you.
and Keith, the mirror of Tolerance's Extinction is how it was portrayed as tolerance of the mutants is our extinction. And now the tolerance to the humans is our extinction. That flip and how the story is being unfolded. I'm just curious, man. What do you think?
Well, very similarly to Cable in the opening sequence when he's shooting bottles, this show doesn't fucking miss. It just episode after episode keeps revving up. The action was insane in this episode. So if you've got a 3-parter, I can only assume that the 2-part is going to be slightly more story, a little less action, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was more because they keep subverting my expectations. I am a true believer that this team could continue to bring a whole new generation of X-Men fans into the future. So I'm stoked about it. I'm glad that it is a mixture of still nostalgia and just way better everything. That I'm elated. This episode was sick, and we'll get into all the specifics of why in a moment. But if to Emmy's point, I do agree that there should be resolution. But to me, it's going to be resolution over the mini arcs that we've seen happen thus far in this season. But the overarching thing doesn't need to be wrapped up so seamlessly. It will probably continue into some new cliffhanger. Who's going to live? Who's going to die? Who fucking knows?
Well said, Keith.
Who lives, who dies, who tells your story?
Amy, I just said
And
well
Biscuit,
said.
right?
I don't need you to ruin it. I really don't. Just, no. The singing.
Ruin what am I ruining?
You. This podcast.
Thank you.
You're ruining both yourself and this podcast. I mean,
Simultaneously at the same time. Amy, if you can you
Talent.
share our Rotten Tomatoes with us this week? And I'm going to guess it stayed the same.
Keith?
I'm assuming I knew what last week's was last week. I'm going to say yes, it stayed the same, and maybe audiences went up one.
It never goes up. Okay. It's like
All right.
It's kind of like when you get older or like things age a bit more, sometimes
sag.
it doesn't get up anymore. It just goes the other.
Brandon, I might have some recommendations for you off air. We could talk about it.
Oh, I've already got mine.
For the listeners, he did slowly and lovingly look to the life-size Spider-Man that he now has in the corner of the screen.
Boner alert. Am I right?
Yeah, he's showing a little
No, he
leg.
doesn't.
I like it.
He doesn't have a boner. Actually, I looked.
You don't know what I've installed since that photo.
I like that he's calling a hitchhiker with his leg.
Hey. All the audio listeners are like, what the fuck? Anyway, Emmy, Rotten Tomatoes.
All right. So Rotten Tomatoes critics stayed the same at 98%. You guys are both right. Keith was
Ew.
also right that audiences went up 1% to 94.
Good shit, Keith.
IMDb stayed the same at 9.0. This episode was an 8.9 on IMDb, and Google users went up 1% to 91%.
Okay, so to Keith's credit, I never ever would have said they would have gone
No.
up. So kudos, Keith. Well done. Seriously.
Sometimes the content can be good enough to
Warrant.
counteract the natural sag of life.
The sag of life. That's what we're going to name this podcast. We're actually changing the name. The sag of life. We figured we're really going to branch out after this series of X-Men. And so the sag of life is what we figured. So join us next week where my intro is going to be completely different. Welcome to the Sag of Life podcast where we discuss how life sags on a weekly basis. All right.
There's a part in Parks and Rec where Leslie Note was trying to be an old person. She's my balls dingle dangle into the water whenever I sit down on the toilet.
I love Parks and Rec. If you have not watched
my
that
God,
TV
it's so
show,
good.
you are missing out. It is wonderful. All right.
Good times.
Speaking of wonderful TV shows, X-Men 97, obviously it is continuing to get everyone's attention and praise, which is wonderful. So, Keith, really what stood out to you in this episode that, you want to get to? What's some highlights for you that you want to discuss?
Well, off the bat, it was nice to see that Scott and Jean are communicating kind of properly again. It does feel a little bit more like the old them. However, I do not want to forget the subtle hints that we've gotten to the darker side of Cyclops, which I do think is going to come back. Maybe by the end of this season, something bad is going to happen, and he ain't going to take it well, because we've never seen him kind of unleash in the way he did this season, and I'm stoked for that kind of comic arc to be shown to someone, because it does really round out his personality to have the flaws as well as the Boy Scout side. So
I think that's what's always made Cyclops so intriguing is, he's a guy on the surface who's very, to Emmy's point, square. However, and honestly, just kind of, he puts a lot of pressure on himself. He always wants to be the Professor Xavier. He wants to be the leader he wants to put a lot of that on himself. With that pressure, there's some cracks in the foundation usually. And I would love to see a Cyclops meltdown and more of a story arc. And hell, if it can just make Emmy say, oh yeah, that guy's not too bad. I kind of like that. So if he rolls up his sleeve, Emmy's fucking all for it. If he just rolled up his sleeves, we would be good, but there's no chance for that. But yeah, I'd like to see more development from Cyclops, even though I've absolutely loved the story they've told so far with him and Jean and little Nathan.
Madeline.
Little baby Nathan.
And Madeline?
And Madeline.
Okay. Did we get Madeline confirmed dead in this episode?
I think we got Madeline confirmed dead in the last episode.
I thought it was episode 7 we confirmed she was.
Oh, I guess I was like, I haven't seen a bot. Well, and I guess I still haven't.
You're right though. They could have they found Emma Frost, and it was kind of like a tease at the telepathic signal could have been Madeline, but then it's like nope, it's Emma. But they kind of did do away with her this episode pretty quickly in some exposition with Cable at the beginning. Seems like, anyways.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Nathan. Yeah, get his name right, please. Thank you. God,
Nathaniel
sounds cooler.
Huh?
No shit. That's what nicknames are.
Yeah. So why don't we call him
Sorry,
Cable?
that sounded really aggressive.
Speaking of which, was there a license plate that said Slim on it?
Yes.
Yes, that's a callback.
And that was a nickname. That was a callback to early Scott Summers. His nickname was Slim.
I think he was actually named Slim in the first few books of X-Men. So that was a real... Then they've nicknamed him that as kind of a callback to that name.
I think Logan calls him that.
I was about to say Wolverine straight up calls him that. So fun fact, Slim.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of Slim.
So comic book aficionados, wink wink nudge nudge. That I thought that was a really cool touch. Also, I really really enjoyed that they were just driving around in not a Mazda. I was very appreciative of that because didn't they drive? I think they drove a Mazda in X-Men 2.
X2.
They got fucking sponsored by Mazda or some shit, and they just anyway.
And he had NSYNC in the CD player. Yeah. Bye.
I was like, God, I hate
that crap.
Yeah, X2 genuinely is
Bye is amazing.
Is a fantastic movie. I really like X2, but
it's a blast.
But their choice of cars, not so much.
That was not what I went with that car scene. I went with Fast and Furious, and then when they said that we're gonna show them you don't screw with the Summers, and I was like, there's the family element. Like Vin Diesel would be so proud.
Okay, I gotta admit that's really awesome. If they make an X-Men Fast and the Furious movie,
that's what that was.
X to the Furious,
Fast
X-Men
of the 10th one.
Fucking Fast X-Men. It writes itself.
It's just Quicksilver.
Just going fast for 2 hours.
Is everyone?
Yeah, exactly. He's just running around for 2 hours. That was a good movie. I liked it.
I wanted to also touch on one of the funnier. The Morph always has a great line in every episode, but his line in this one, "Another dystopia where Logan's the last to die," was very funny because he's constantly, whether it be the live action movies or this, the animated series, he's always around in every dystopian future because he refuses to die. So it's awesome.
I also want to give a call out to I thought his line when he's talking about his relationship with Rogue and talking about, it was really beautiful because they shared, I think, a mother, right? They shared a mother, and it was like, hey, she didn't she didn't choose to be a part of our lives, but we chose to be a part of each other's. And not to get too sappy, but it's very similar to my sister and I. Our father our father didn't really involve himself in our lives, and yet we are very close, and we didn't meet till we were 18, or till I was 18, I should say. And so, meeting later in life and still choosing to be family and figuring that out, even when we had everything against us, that line really almost made me tear up because it was such a gorgeous line. And that's what I love about this series is there's so much poignant, like, damn.
Yeah.
Hey, blood. Okay. But it's that bond that connects you. That's what makes you family. And
he says, blood is blood, but family is a choice.
Bingo.
Yes.
Bingo. And it's so beautiful. And I loved it.
And it furthers that metaphor, I think, especially in the queer community. I think that some of their families What
I'll
are we
say
doing that, Ari?
X-Men too. I think it's a calling to X-Men, but yes. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, I thought you were like, stop. That's too far. I was
Oh,
like,
no.
Knock it off, Abby.
No,
We're putting our fingers together to tell
I feel
you to
terrible.
shut up.
Sorry. No.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say it's a call to the X-Men in general, but then you were like,
Oh,
the queer
no,
community.
like
and
the
I'm
real
like,
life,
don't
yeah.
talk about them.
Yeah,
No,
we don't talk about homos.
Guys,
No,
that was
no,
not what
no.
I was. X as in X-Men. I'm so sorry. We can talk about that, and we will. Emmy, go on. I'm going to go hide in a corner now because I feel horrible.
Sorry. Okay. Some people do like to make it not just a human rights issue, and we won't go in that direction. But some families, once a person comes out, they aren't as welcome in their family, and so they find chosen family. That's a word that the queer community uses a lot. This is my chosen family. Yeah, the family might reject me, but I have found family that was chosen. I mean, the wording in this was perfect. Absolutely.
Well said.
I agree.
All right, we're going to edit all that out so you don't hear that, everybody. Just kidding. All right.
We don't talk about.
We don't talk about. Anyway, go on, Keith.
I've got okay. So there are so many little tongue-in-cheek nods to other Marvel stuff in the show, and
yes,
the writing is good on all accounts. And Beast saying "strange" and then talking about the mystic arts and Kamar-Taj and absolute points and time travel. It's like you just said "strange," and then but just to use the word normally, it was a cute little. It's very.
It's so hokey, and I'm so here for it. I love every fucking bit of it. Sorry, I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're right.
I didn't put those two together, but I did. I heard Kamar-Taj, and I was like, I know that. Okay,
I gotta have a quick question because obviously, spoiler alerts if you've not watched the Marvels. Please, spoiler alerts if you have not. I just want to ask a question real quick.
I think you should ask it slow.
At the end of the Marvels in the post-credit scene, we see Beast. Is there a chance? I would love, and I know they're going to set up probably X-Men versus the Avengers cartoon form. I think that's where this is headed. I really believe so. And I think that's money all fucking day. Sign me up. I'm going to be game for that as well. But I would love if they turn the page or like they just come out in their X-Men form and there's Beast and there he is in live action. There's Jubilee in her live action. And because we've heard this, the X-Men, the animated stuff, Kevin Feige, at least I thought I read this. If this was in my mind, guys, call me out, leave a comment below or reach out to us. We have 500 social media pages where, hey, the animated stuff is canon. Animated is, or not even canon. It is part of the MCU and you could say it's another timeline or it's another universe entirely. And it still could be, its own thing. I would love if we turned that page and we saw the live action X-Men mirrored X-Men 97, the Nightcrawlers, the Jubilees, the Wolverines. Like we turn the page, the Beast, and there they all are. And it's just like, it's a mind fuck. You're seeing these characters that you've grown to love through 10 episodes by the end of this.
Yeah.
And there they are. I just would think how fucking badass or cool that would be. I know it's never going to happen because I don't think they have the X-Men cast locked down. But how awesome would it be if you just saw all of them sitting in Professor X's, sign me up. Just sign me up.
Like at the end of the animated series?
Yes.
You're saying it's almost like you ever seen that episode of Community where they're in claymation for Christmas?
Yes. I was trying
and
to
at
think
the
of
end,
an example.
in the reflection of the television, it shows them in live action again.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end. And they're all huddled together to watch a Christmas movie. So you're saying kind of like you see those same actors from the Fox universe live action movies portraying the parts.
Oh, not even the Fox. Not even the Fox. Not even the Fox.
Okay.
A brand new cast. Now,
you mean the people that they're going to have going forward?
Right.
Okay.
Now, I don't think it's going to happen because Wolverine and Deadpool has to come out, and I don't think they're going to reveal, hey, look, this is Wolverine.
Complicated.
I know, but gosh, maybe at the end of the X-Men 98 or X-Men 99, like we saw them in there. Oh,
no, is that what they're going to do?
I don't know.
You've heard it here first.
You're welcome.
Brandon's idea.
I love how Emmy is like, ew, that's disgusting. What's wrong with that? X-Men 97 has been fantastic. Why are you pursing your lips?
Ew.
Well, but then they're going to do X-Men 98? And then X-Men 99. It's X-Men
I was
97
thinking
season
about
2.
Well, see, I don't know how much time has really passed.
Bingo.
Are they
Time
going
doesn't
to
work that
jump
way
a
in the
year?
MCU.
Well, Forge's ability to time travel is second by second. But if they choose to do a time jump, then they should absolutely call the second season
X-Men
98.
2024.
Depends on how they want to tell the story. They could do 3 seasons in 97. Absolutely, they could do that because this amount of time, I feel like they've spanned like a couple weeks. I don't think it's. Oh no, they actually have alluded to the fact that it's been like a month or two since Madeline to.
4 seasons of X-Men 97 confirmed from Keith. There it is.
No, I'm just saying that they could. It depends on how they want to stretch the cheese. How they want to stretch the toffee. I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
I don't know why, but stretching the cheese just sounded really good. I want a pizza now.
Mm-hmm,
I know, right? I'm gonna start using that more. That's gonna be my new thing.
Just stretching the cheese, Brandon.
Face on it saying "stretch the cheese."
Slapping the base.
I got a question for you guys.
I got an answer.
Wolverine should pay for the next TV screen he slashes, right? Because those flat screens and the size of them in 97, those are expensive. Holy shit.
I remember going to a friend's house that had that, and it was rare. It was the Super Bowl parties that you would go over, and the people that hosted Super Bowl parties were literally like the Ford F-150 of TVs. It was to show off, it was to compensate for your small dick because you had a large dick in TV form. And it was really cool. And I just remember. So yeah, totally. To answer the short version of your question, fuck yeah, Logan should pay for that. Damn it.
To answer and to elaborate on the short penis answer that you just gave, the flat screen TVs were like a rear projection TV.
Yes.
And we got, when I was at university, we moved into a house of 7 people, and one of them, their dad gave us their flat screen. It was massive, but it was clearly from 10 years earlier because the thing was so fucking heavy. It was a rear projection, so the back on it was so massive.
And it's so faded. It's so faded too.
Exactly. And you turn it off and it's just gray, and you're looking at it. It's like matte. And you're like, wait, how is it?
Yeah.
Anyways, it was so bizarre looking compared to today with all these screens that we can easily get for like, $20 if you want to get a monitor somewhere that's flat.
And they're fucking wonderful. Crazy. 10 times better than what we had.
It's crazy. Yeah.
In college, my Nana had already passed away, and I ended up with her old TV, and I lived on the 3rd floor, and that motherfucker was heavy.
CRTs are no joke.
Oh yeah.
My friends carried it up, and as soon as they got it up those 3 flights of stairs, they were like, when we move out, we're leaving this bitch. I was like, all right, that's fine with me. Nana doesn't need it anymore.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Did you leave that bitch?
I did. And I felt really bad because it was a really, really fucking good TV. It was really good. And because Nana was sold when she passed away, that she had one of the remotes that was like.
How old was your Nana? Oh, sorry.
He was like 94.
Sorry, I thought you were like.
Damn.
My Nana was so old when she passed away. How old was she?
But she had one of those remotes that had the huge numbers on it, which was really good for drunk people as well as old people.
Ideal.
Old or drunk, you be the judge.
The size of the couch arm. It's like it was. It should be built into it.
Yeah, it was pretty ginormous.
That's what she said.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, TVs are cheap now. Like they're not what they used to be. Like my friends got one of their friends a TV for his birthday. Yeah. And they are friends. They're not family. Like they're just,
Yeah. No, I mean you can get that.
Here's the TV.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I have a 52-inch that I think it's about 12 years old. And by talking about it, I know it's going to fuck up tomorrow and be dead. But I have kept this thing in the only thing that's tricky is the looseness of the HDMI cable ports now.
Yes.
So you have to like duct tape them into a hammock, into a sling, so they feel like they got a broken arm, but they're like, okay, I'll hold on, don't worry. But it works. But it's it's great. The picture's great. Yeah.
Yeah. My mom.
Sometimes you shove too much things into something and it becomes loose.
Over time. Yeah, but you can still have some fun while it's while it's still.
That's a myth. They're elastic.
Right?
They don't get loose.
Yeah.
Well, I wish this Toshiba was.
What are we talking about? Are we talking about TV ports? Or are we talking about the Who's?
Vaginal canals.
Ah, gotcha.
Pikachus.
We're talking about both.
Hey, I choose you, Pikachu. But if you choose, a Bulbasaur, that's cool too. Like whatever you want. If you want the Squirtles happen because of Pikachus. It's great. All right.
Emmy's least favorite fucking Pokemon, I'm sure.
And so it is, truly. And sometimes they happen
Good
because of Bulbasaurs.
Bulbasaurs, Pikachus, and Pikachus. Hey, and some Bulbasaur action. Hey, whatever you want, just make sure you find the Pokemon that's right for you. That's all we care about. Messaging is important. If you want to support us, patreon.com/Abingers podcast. We can use $1. Obviously, we need help.
We'll do anything for $1.
She's not wrong.
Well, I mean, we do have some standards. Just say please. Thank you.
Don't speak for all of us. But no, there's a Jubilee line that made me laugh. Come on, Roberto. You have a trust fund and I have bad taste. I think we could both use some retail therapy. I was like, hell yeah. That was a good line.
Loved that. Can we just like hit the pause button just for a second? And I know we're already a little ways into this, but can we just go through the plan here and what is happening? What is the plan?
Well, the Bastion he's the last bastion for humanity, and his plan has been all along to mutate humans to a point where they can take over and stop mutants. So he's made Prime Sentinels, and they are both machine and people, and they are hidden all over the damn place. We don't know how many there are, as you've seen here. He's even willing to mutate his own mother into a Prime Sentinel, which is fucked up. And they look just like Sam Raimi's Deadites from Evil Dead.
You said that
and
last
that's
week.
The plan.
Yep. Yeah, and shit hit the fan, and the only thing I keep thinking about is what is happening to these people that are not X-Men. These mutants that are not X-Men. Like, holy shit, because these things are activating all around the world. We saw that with Beast with the map. Fucking crazy.
So are these only... Wait. Oh, God. Hold on. So is he only infecting regular Joes, or is he infecting mutants?
He seems to only be doing regular Joes.
Sorry, but they're going after the mutants is what my point.
They didn't they didn't Prime Sentinel Magneto like I was trying to predict, and it seems like maybe he thinks that maybe it's only doable with humans, but at the same time maybe he also only thinks humans are worthy for his experiment.
That seems more likely.
But didn't he get Cable with it?
Well, Cable survived somehow. Maybe it was because it was his mutation. Did they go into how Cable survived that? Like he got separated from Bishop. That's what I heard, and I remember from the
time stream.
Yeah. So I mean, did he fend for himself, and it just didn't take? Like, I don't know. I can't remember the exact details on that. I'm sure someone could tell us in the comments, or we could watch those people who really dive into the details,
break down everything.
Yeah.
Scene by
because
scene.
I'm sorry, I can't. By 4:00 my brain is mush, and I've heard my name 4,000 times, and I can't.
I get it.
I can't do anything.
If I had today off, I would have definitely tried harder than I have today, but I didn't get that at all. So
podcast, 3 hosts with full-time jobs.
Well, it seemed too like Bastion was trying to blame mutants so that the humans would revolt on mutants and make them build. Like when Cable's talking, he's talking about how mutants built the better utopia. Like utopia was built on the backs of mutants. Like the mutants had been enslaved, to do all that. And then, but there
and
was
that's not an accident, by the way. That wink, wink, nudge, nudge is not an accident. I love that they said that. Sorry, go on, Amy.
The point, though, because I was like, oh, yeah, so they blow up Genosha. That seems like, oh, well, look at mutants. They can't be trusted. They're just going to blow themselves up. Like, that gets all the humans to be like, fuck you, mutants.
Another thing.
But then to introduce the Sentinel human hybrids was like
Prime Sentinels,
now I don't know what is happening again.
And not to get too political at all, and I'm not trying to, I hope it doesn't come across that way, but sometimes after attacks or a big event, sometimes that's when everyone's rallied up and everyone's ready. And Genosha, I believe, I don't know if it was the writer or the director, I can't remember, but I think they pulled inspiration from real life events.
Oh shit, yeah. Do you want to hear the quote?
Yes, please.
He says, bully an underdog too long and people start feeling sorry for them. Tolerance, guilt. But then with Genosha, I gave them Genosha, overloaded their bandwidth, too much to compute. Because when your skin's not in the game, apathy is your answer. I have never wanted to be more political than right now, and I will not do it. I promise. I'm just really amazed by the fact that this show is something that is a rebirth from 30 years ago. And some of the themes of it are not, they're hitting home and they're not holding back. And I'm very impressed with this show, period.
Bingo.
But they also made comparisons, I think, especially with the scenes with Magneto. They show his tattoo, his number tattoo from the Holocaust for a second.
Yep.
And right before that, it's the UN lady. What's that girl's name?
Val Cooper.
Okay, Val Cooper says something about how Mr. Sinister, Bastion 1, I don't know, one of the bads is like
Dr. Mengele.
Yeah, who is
Joseph Mengele, the Nazi physician from World War II who would experiment on prisoners of war, got nicknamed an Angel of Death.
Gruesomely. I mean, the shit that he was doing was horrific.
You can't look it up without legit being depressed. Like, I don't know how you don't walk away from it absolutely, one, horrified, and two, just depressed that it happened.
Yeah. Just that lighthearted stuff that we want to talk about. On
less than 100 years ago, which is fucking nuts. Less than 100 years ago. You think about when we're all in our 30s. I hate to put a timestamp on us, but think about it, guys. When we were born, it was 40 years ago. What the fuck? You know, that is fucking horrifying. I'm sorry. That's just, it breaks my heart.
No, you're right. You're right. 100%.
But to your point, that it's like history's repeating itself almost, that you don't have skin in the game. And so you feel apathy. And I feel like what was happening during that period of time. And they kind of alluded to it in this episode, and we're seeing it again now.
Yep.
And we've seen it throughout history. And so, this is 97 kind of technically. And like, it's still so relevant, but like, it's also like, but when will we learn our fucking lessons?
And it's nearly 2027.
What I love about X-Men 97 is they're taking a lot of inspiration from current day and past events as well. So they've got that hindsight while they're writing this in for 97. It's remarkable. It's remarkable storytelling, and I applaud them for continuing to be so bold with a lot of the messaging, because I feel like if you're paying enough attention, it's really hitting home, and it's really, really good, and also really terrifying as well. So well done.
You guys want to talk about some fun cameos that popped up in Bastion's little moment there? We had a few characters
I know one
on some screens. Who'd you notice?
I noticed Dr. Doom, and then I thought purple mask guy from Winter Soldier and
Baron Zemo.
Baron Zemo. I was like, he's got a weird name that sounds like a title. Dang it. Okay.
And then there was an undecipherable. There was a woman that never got a name, even in the subtitles, but she was vague about Dr. Cooper Val Cooper being on Bastion's side. To me, the way that Cooper was calling Sinister, the Angel of Death character, like comparisons, and then freeing Magneto, like, you have to assume that she wouldn't have been left alone with Magneto had Bastion not thought that she was on his side. So she's revolting. She's revolting after colluding, and she's a double agent at this point, it seems like. She will probably pay for that, I imagine. But
I don't think she's going to make it.
Let him go.
I don't think she's going to make it too much longer.
No.
If she makes it to episode 10, I'll be shocked. So I think I'll be like, what the fuck? And that's about it. So
I was amazed that she made it through this episode. But
true.
Very true.
What is it about bad guys who makes them want to strip down their enemies and then like put them on that cross stand thing? Like,
Emmy's
they're
been
kinky little submissive.
I'm so sorry, guys.
Thank you.
Sub and dumb.
So forgive me. Forgive Emmy. I don't want to put her on blast like this. We're just going to edit this in here without her listening to this. But she is reading a smut series right now, and she thinks this is normal villain behavior. It is not.
I'm saying
normal.
it's not normal.
But she's saying, well, how come every villain does it? No, just your smut books and X-Men 97.
They haven't done it in my smut books, and I want them to.
Oh, man.
At the same time, the live action first ever X-Men movie, there's a moment where Magneto sprawls out Wolverine. Let me bring my microphone closer here as I do this.
Thank you.
Sprawls out Wolverine, both arms out to the sides. He says, that magnificent metal doesn't run through your entire body, does it? And then shoots him through the back of a train like he's flicking a booger off his finger. And it's so beautiful, but he's also domineering. He's doming.
Yeah.
He's showing his dominance and fear, striking fear into his enemy. And that's what they do. That's what they do.
You heard it here first. X-Men 97 and X-Men is smuttier than my fairy smut books.
Yeah, you didn't
100%.
tell us the percentage. How much percentage is the smut in your smut books?
I saw a TikTok that took the smut words per whatever. It was like 5% of the books. Like one of them is really short and was like maybe 12%.
I'm so sorry.
Rookie numbers, Brandon. I want you to know that's rookie numbers. I don't completely believe
that. I don't think that's completely. I don't think that was a fair representation. But
okay. Speaking of fair representation,
stay tuned.
What?
Just because you thought Magneto looked sexy, shirtless and pantsless in that prisoner position. I mean, it's not all sexual, but yeah, he's ripped.
Speaking of ripped, we finally got to see Wolverine, and you alluded to this with the TV. Wolverine kind of go off and finally be Wolverine and start slicing and dicing folks. And I thought that was really, really wonderful to see. I don't know. I just, for a while there, we had not seen Wolverine be Wolverine, and I'm okay with it. Once again, I'm going to say something very, very controversial. I love Hugh Jackman as an actor. I think he's wonderful. I don't know if I like him as Wolverine, especially watching this cartoon. I am starting to realize I like just the one-liner, short king, Canadian fucking badass Logan Wolverine. And like the guy who got shoved down my throat for 20 years, which, that sounds kind of dirty, a guy getting shoved down my throat. But Emmy says, yes, please. I like Hugh Jackman as an actor. I like him as Wolverine. That's fine. I don't know if he's what I want as Wolverine. And I don't know. It's oof. And I know we're about to watch Deadpool and Wolverine. And I get it. And I hope we're turning the page to another Wolverine in the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm watching this cartoon. I'm like, this is it. This is the guy. That's what I want on the big screen. I want this kind of version of him. I think Hugh Jackman did great. That's Patch. I think Hugh Jackman did great with what he had. Please don't come after me. Once again, I'm also a Cyclops guy, so you can easily say, hey, this is this dumbass's bias with Cyclops. I just want to see Wolverine be the tank, the muscle, the shredder, and then and let the other heroes get some spotlight. So,
Brandon, how would you rank the people who've played Spider-Man in your opinion? Best to least best. And they're all good. I know we all have love for them, but who is the best one?
Oh gosh, Tom Holland. I think he's
okay. Who's the second best one?
Andrew Garfield.
Who's the third best one?
Anybody
shouldn't have to ask this. I know that.
But felt condescending. That felt condescending.
Oh, no. Whoever voices Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse.
Boom! Oh,
yeah, he is.
Actually, then that would be
and Nick Miller. That's not his real name. Jack Johnson. Jack
Johnson, the singer.
John Johnson. Jack.
Oh my God, you're butchering it.
What is his name?
You're thinking of Peter B. Parker, aren't you?
No, it's Nick Miller is his name in New Girl. Jack Johnson.
I promise I have a point.
John Johnson.
Oh my gosh, you're terrible. Jake Johnson.
Ah, I'm so close.
God, anyway.
Oh, yeah, Jake Johnson.
So close.
But we've been given for live action Spider-Mans. We've been spoiled with Spider-Mans. We've had iterations. We've had like a Russian nesting doll of here's the next iteration, evolution, and here's what we didn't get quite right.
Arguably,
here's the next one.
Arguably, we've gotten better each time.
I would agree. I would agree.
Arguably.
And your ranking of them, I feel the same way. And some people have their preferences. They like Toby better. They like Andrew Garfield better. I do like Tom Holland the best as well. And I think that you only get to that level of good when you have iterations to improve upon. We have been with Hugh Jackman for the longest time. It's incredible how long he's been around playing Wolverine.
Hats off to him. Hats off to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
But he scratched so the next guy can slice. So that's the way I look at it.
I could just kiss you. That is so well said. That is so well said. Well said, sir. Yes. I like that.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. Cheers.
I agree. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I'm not.
It's not a knock, Amy. Don't do that shit.
I know, it's
Amy's
not,
like, I love him. Fuck these guys that hate him. No, I'm not saying that.
I don't know
We're
dick
all
about
right.
shit about X-Men.
We're all right to love him, as well as we're all right to be ready for someone new and a new take on it, and something that feels a little bit more accurate, because they've been stuck in 2000. The movies in 2000 were nothing like the comics.
No.
And so it was just the
ago.
best we could do because it was the first time.
And
but
I just love
we keep evolving with the same actor, and it's not fair to him to be jacking himself up with all those steroids or whatever the hell he does, allegedly. But it's not good for his health, and I think the guy should retire. And I love the guy, and I don't want him to, like.
Who was at the poker table?
In Logan.
Who was at the poker table?
It's definitely either Daniel Radcliffe or Jeremy Allen White, and I bet you it's Daniel Radcliffe.
Jeremy Allen White?
I bet it's Jacob Elordi. I don't think it's not going to be Jeremy Allen White.
Who do you think it is?
Jacob Elordi. He's like 6'11".
That's too tall.
I know. I'm kidding. It was a joke.
Oh, okay.
I think Shaquille O'Neal is gonna play Wolverine next.
Yao Ming?
I mean, the height is a bit of a problem, but everything else is spot on.
Oh, I'm so bad with names. Nick Anderson is what I want to call him.
What are you doing? Who?
The guy who plays Nate on Ted Lasso, he is a short king. He could be Wolverine. Nick Anderson. Nick Henderson.
Nick Muhammad.
Muhammad. Okay, that one wasn't close at all.
My God, you're done.
I got the first name.
You're just done.
But to the point of the action sequences of this episode, the Wolverine flying through the goddamn air, being tossed from sentinel to sentinel, and slicing them open, and finding his way some way back down to the ground with that trajectory,
gave me Hulk Avengers vibes. It gave me Hulk Avengers vibes in all the best way. Yeah.
Fuck yeah, because it's like, okay,
that's what I want Wolverine to be.
Slice.
Yeah, just go. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It's the powerhouse, right? But then the team up of Logan entering a room to protect Rogue, and that damn Prime Sentinel saying, "Why resist the inevitable, lady? I've got 6 reasons why. No, mein Freund, 9." That was bitchin'. Holy shit, that was cool. Flying around with one sword in his tail, and just that the music was classical music remixed, and oh my God, the swirling cameras and all that stuff. What is it? Did I say bitchin'? I'm sorry.
Best scene of the show, in my opinion. That was my that was my get up off the seat, holy shit moment. It was so good.
Nightcrawler crawling around with the swords. That fight scene was awesome.
Give us more
however, I had to move on from the thought where he said, I got 6 reasons why, and then Nightcrawler was like, 9 reasons, and I was like, well, at least y'all don't have 13 reasons, because that would be a different show.
Amy?
No, that joke shouldn't have made me laugh.
Amy.
I'm so mad at myself and you.
Keith.
I'm mad at myself. I'm mad at myself too. I'm not gonna lie. But that was my first thought. I was like, don't keep going. Don't go any higher.
Emmy, that show hasn't been on for
years. And I wasn't able to watch it because it hit too close to home when it came out. So
I'm done. So done with you guys in so many ways. 1, Keith, you laughing, and 2, Emmy, that you felt the need to make that joke.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
When I get tickled, I get tickled. That's just the way we live in Canada. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well,
Can I also say?
But it was a bitchin' fight scene.
Yes, it was.
Bitchin' fight scene.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Finally, we get Sunspot in full
Glamour.
a sunspot form. That's what it's called. It's just fully kicking ass, and he doesn't know how to fly.
I was gonna say Jubes almost took a tumble because of some bad flight patterns, but he figured it out. He was figuring it out.
Yeah,
but I love it. I love Sunspot.
And then the Summers team up moment. Sorry, I'll let Emmy respond to that because I feel like I've been talking a lot. So.
Because now everybody knows that he is a mutant. He knows that his mom was very quick to be like, because those Prime Sentinels, I don't understand why they were trying to look good in front of the humans and be like, we're not trying to hurt mutants, we're trying to save them. Or like, did they read the room and see that they were in like Humans for Genosha benefit? Or is that how they're going to act around all humans? Are they trying to form some
I think that the humans that have been turned into Prime Sentinels have no clue that they have been. That's to me
I know. But then they crash that benefit, and as soon as they realize that there's other humans around that aren't Prime Sentinels looking at them, they change their tune. Yeah. And
maybe it is because the rich upper echelon people are at this benefit, and they're like, "Oh, well, we don't want to fully have bad optics.
We don't want to." Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Brandon he's wagging.
So. The thing there's two types of humans kind of being treating mutants as lesser. There's the brute force, which is obviously the Sentinel approach. There's just this hard brute force, fuck you, we're going to take you down. And I think they also realize in order to be able to do that shit, they also need the acceptance from the other humans who still look down on mutants and see them as lesser. And so I don't think they want to be as exposed as that in front of those folks. They still kind of, forgive me, I hate to go back, but think about it. It's like,
those are their people.
Think about the Nazis in the 40s, they weren't projecting this out to a lot of, like, the horrible shit that happened was contained in those pockets of horrible places and horrible moments. But outward, here's what we're projecting, and here's how we can get
like
and to get
nationalism, like we're gonna bring Germany back from the brink.
And look at these lesser folks. Let's see how we can. We're gonna have to do something with them.
They can't live with us,
right?
Not in my backyard.
So I just feel like it's still two types of people that see the mutants as lesser. There's just one that's a lot more harsh, that keeps a safe face on, and one that sees him lesser and just tries to help the little guy, but it's a very condescending help, if that makes sense. That's just how I'm perceiving it, I guess.
And you're saying that the latter is the rich people, like the regular humans.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
I wouldn't be surprised if we find out that the Prime Sentinels have been programmed not to hurt certain people who I would fund or vote in the way of more Sentinel programs like the OZT. If that room full of people that Roberto's mom associates with is somehow part of some society that is going to continue to fund these kind of programs, I mean, that might have been the point of the scene, period, but I'm reaching there. So.
I don't know if that's too much of a reach, Keith. I really don't.
No, because it's a lot about votes sometimes too.
Yep.
I also had a question before we move too far on. If they can shoot laser blasts, why didn't they go for the plane earlier? The plane was on the ground. They were all going for the plane, and why they were shooting laser blasts everywhere except for the fucking plane.
I did wonder why they can't predict the future and just know that they're going to try to escape in their fucking jet. Blow up the jet, guys.
I thought about the walkers on The Walking Dead. Like, they're not smart. They're just like slow moving, little dumb idiots that just want to.
That's always been my problem with the X-Men in general. Is there's so many powers, so many different things going on, and so many. It's always you can poke a hole usually somewhere, and I think that's what makes an X-Men story so hard to tell. It really is. Like, I think that's why we have seen so many crash and burns from the Fox team. Is like, don't get me wrong, there's good ones, but for every X-Men First Class there is a fucking last
stand
apocalypse waiting in the wings, just ready to strike. So, you know, I don't know. So
they don't know how to make third movies.
They don't.
They don't know how to make
The third, I remember for a while. I'm sorry. I'll shut up in just a second, I promise. But X-Men, the third movie, The Last Stand, was that was the third movie, correct? X-Men, The Last Stand, I saw midnight showing. I saw Spider-Man 3, Toby at midnight. And both of them, I left, what the fuck was that? And so I got used to Marvel just completely miffing on the last, so when the Avengers was coming out, I was like, well, okay, let's see how they fuck this up. And Marvel's like, hold my beer. And that was the first time I saw like a finale, or at least I thought at that point, the Avengers was the grand finale. Hold my beer, said Marvel Studios again. But I don't know, God, X-Men every day.
Well, let's hope that this third Deadpool movie is much more like the third Wolverine movie than any of the third X-Men movies, because the third and the fourth of the First Class movies,
whoa, what the fuck
really tough. Yeah, Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix were both
shit.
But Days of Future Past,
Days of Future Past, fantastic.
First Class, best
X2,
movie,
fantastic. Yeah.
And X-Men First Class, to me, that's the best X-Men movie.
Is that the best X-Men movie for you? Period.
Yes, best X-Men movie.
We gotta.
First Class was pretty good.
Oh man! Once this series is over, we're watching the damn X-Men movies. I'm telling you, we got.
First Class is amazing, especially when X-Men 1 and 2 are good. They're dated. Sorry, First Class still holds up in my opinion.
We should watch them in chronological order.
Sounds good.
Chronological or release?
Not release. I think we should watch them in order that they would have happened in history.
Ooh, that's hard for me.
Which is fucked.
That's hard for me to agree on.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to debate off air.
Okay. I'm also fine with watching the release order as long as we watch them.
That's like people that are like,
You gotta watch Captain America, the first Avenger, and then Captain Marvel, because that took place in the 90s, and then you have to watch this movie, Iron Man 1.
I'm like, no, you watch Iron Man 1, and you watch Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2.
No, you watch Iron Man 2, and then you watch Iron Man 2, and then you watch Iron Man 2.
Okay, she's broken. That's her internet again.
I'm not saying that we gotta, because that's the best way to watch them. I'm saying this only because I wasn't there when you guys watched them the first time, and you did watch these movies before, so I feel bad.
Just one.
So I thought did you just watch the first one?
We did.
We just reviewed the first one.
We just reviewed the first one.
Maybe we watched 2 on a watch party.
Yeah, 2 was a watch party. So we've only and the one we reviewed is only on Patreon. So
cover a new ground with Keith.
Yeah. So there is no X-Men out there for all listeners. So but there is a Patreon review floating out there.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so I do have another question, and this is a burning question. Okay. I think that I'm like The Walking Dead and this are paralleling for me right now a little bit. So like The Walking Dead, they're kind of looking for like a cure, right? So like once, somebody gets to a certain point of decomposition, they're no longer savable. Yeah, the cure can come out, but like once you're, half a torso, it's like even if we give you the cure, you're just going to die a painful death. If they're trying to be able to fix this in the future, find some cure for it, I'm pretty sure that Wolverine sliced through a fuck ton of people that are not going to be viable anymore. Which I was down. It was fun to watch. Like, I'm not going to complain about it.
You bring up a good point, though. Those people are lost.
There's always time travel.
That's true.
That's true.
Don't dismiss time travel. Gambit.
And I didn't because they were all background people. But Tilby, the Beast girlfriend, she's not just like a background person. Like they're gonna keep her.
Tilby got fucked.
Talk about subversion of expectation. When she moved her coffee toward him more, I was like, oh, she's still reporting. She's recording him. And then it was like, no, she's a fucking Prime Sentinel. What? Okay, well, she's not his girlfriend anymore. She's not reporting. She's just a Prime Sentinel. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I was amazing.
So here's the thing.
I was so confused.
Here's the thing. Emmy is a teacher. Keith, you have cats. And I am married. Those 3 things are true.
All right. Weird flex, but okay.
Those 3 things are true. And
I'm also married, by the way.
Keith, shut up.
Yeah.
Keith, shut up. Go with me.
And you have a cat.
Keith, shut the fuck.
We all have cats.
I do not have cats. I have cat, and it's an asshole. Anyway.
Cat soul.
Have we thought? Cat-sized dog. Have we been around our children, our cats, our spouses, and realized They're acting a little Prime Sentinel-ish. Should we check on that shit? Because
Oh my god.
yeah, Keith, be careful.
Oh no! 100% he's using this as an opportunity to go pee pee. I gotta go too. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna hold it because I know we're not long for the podcast. I know. I understand.
The fact that he wrote that in to take a piss break and you called it is so fucking funny.
Because he's not back yet.
No,
Or
you
the
called it
Prime without
early.
him.
No, you called it early. That's the funny part. Like, he wasn't gone 2 seconds when you were like, he's taking that as a piss break. So you called it like straight up. Like,
I mean, he moved the cat tree. That's the tell. That's the tell. He moved the cat tree. He made the business.
Right now, I wouldn't have been impressed if you called it now. But the fact that you were like, he's going to piss. He shut that door. He's pissed. All right, Amy, go on.
And he can still hear us.
Yes, hi Keith. There he is.
I'd be so pissed. I gotta say this. Jubilee has a moment where she's like, "Oh God, everybody can fly except me." I'd be so fucking pissed. Everybody can fly except her. I would be so mad.
But
so mad.
She can shoot fireworks. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh, pew, pew,
She
pew,
tried
but-
something new there, and then she had to be saved by Sunspot, the man in the relationship. But that was just kidding. Just kidding. I mean,
construct.
Bring back
But it
the
was nice to
patriarchy.
see. That's a good reason for
No,
him to
please
get
don't.
his shit together and learn his powers, though.
Yes.
To save the woman he loves or the
But,
girl
yeah.
he at least likes right now. That's
He was like,
pretty
"I was
cool.
trying to impress you," and it's like, "Oh,
He's like, yeah. He's like,
Um,
I've been training in the danger room. I was very impressed.
I was impressed with myself. Juggernaut didn't get me this time. I was like, "When the fuck did Juggernaut?" Nah, it's more, you motherfucker.
Can I just say it? It got me.
Not Juggernaut, bitch.
It got me because I really thought he was gonna go, "I'm Juggernaut," and I was like, "Oh shit, where did he?" Oh fuck! I did it again. I do it almost every fucking episode.
I get so mad at myself, and I think I've gotten to a point where I know if I see somebody, I'm like, "Where the fuck did fucking more?"
Where the fuck did you come from? My nerd ass, like, it could be fucking Green Power Ranger. I'm like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Oh, Morph, you son of a bitch. Like, I'm gonna always buy it every damn time. So, Morph got me.
Sorry, you go ahead.
No. I only have a few, very few more.
I have
say
one
few,
note,
okay,
and then I have one question for all of us.
Okay,
So
let's see if you
how
hit
many
me.
notes you got?
It depends on how agitated Brandon gets.
I'm ready to go to bed. So
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I've got 3.
Okay.
Okay, you get 2 of yours, then I'll say mine, and then you say yours, and then I'll say my question.
Like it.
Okay. All right. So there's a point when there is a scene. They're all standing in front of the burning school of Professor X.
Yeah.
And I was like, I fucking told you guys, keep that shit a secret, because all of those Prime Sentinels knew where to go, knew where to blast their pew-pews. And it was like, the first rule of a secret lair should be don't allow cameras. 2, don't show it on TV. I did.
You hit your mic.
Finger punch my mic.
Yep.
I'm
it's not the only thing
excited.
she finger punches.
Okay, we already talked about my fairy smut, man.
Sure.
She's finger punching those pages in the book. Thoop, thoop, thoop.
Yes.
Just like, get me more fairy smut. Anyway, sorry, Amy. Go on.
Okay, Spider-Man. That was my other point. The fact that they're showing
Spider-Man.
X-Men character, or not
Yes.
X-Men, sorry, Avengers characters in these
Captain
episodes,
America.
I was like, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Well, we get Silver Samurai, Omega Red, and
Oh, see,
Spider-Man.
okay, I don't know those people.
Yeah, those are characters that, like, Omega Red is a big
It's a fruit.
Wolverine.
It's a-
Silver Samurai is also a big.
It's a gum, isn't it?
Wolverine
Omega
villain.
Red, isn't that a gum?
You're thinking of Big Red Chew, I think,
Oh, god damn it. Okay, sorry. Keith.
which I'm sure Wolverine
Juicy
has
fruit.
nicknamed him Big Red Chew. Gonna chew you up, swashbuckle. But the other.
Do you think
the
Wolverine
other-
has a scratching?
Village.
Do you think Wolverine has a scratching post, Keith? Yes or no?
Yeah. Yeah. I do think he has that. I also think that if Morph were to throw a spring, he'd be like, He disappeared.
Sometimes you just lob it up to Keith Underhand and he's gonna fucking hit a home run. He's just do it.
But no, we got Spider-Man from, and there's been rumors already circulating that the Spider-Man animated series from the 90s is also going to get rebooted and revamped because of how the success of this one. And I think that the success of this one is clearly going to lead to that. So that's badass. That's bitchin'. And it might be a way to, as much as I want it, part of me is going, Sony, if you have anything to fucking do with the fourth Spider-Man with Tom Holland, just don't make it. Don't do it. Because I think Tom Holland probably wants to leave on a high note and
and if you touch
not
it,
return.
it will bomb.
So, oh my goodness.
I don't know what
Cursed.
I don't know what you're talking about because one, Morbius is fucking fantastic. And Madam Web,
oh my God. I was like, there was another bummer.
What are we talking about? What's that?
I was talking about how great Sony is when they're not working with Marvel Studios. Morbius, Morbius is the first movie I've ever seen Rotten Tomatoes give 110% critic score to. Never seen anything like that. Madam Web, close, 99%. They are both absolute bangers. So Sony, keep doing what you're doing.
I've told my wife that if she sees me spend money on a ticket for Kraven the Hunter, to kick me square in the balls.
I am
not
that
giving
out?
them.
October.
Who cares?
October this year.
I'll send you a link. It's okay.
No, Emmy, don't.
Thank you.
No, Emmy, no.
It's Sony. It's Sony. We don't care.
I'm gonna go see it in theaters.
I'll go see it in theaters too. If there's any theaters that are still open around me, and if there's not, I'll send you a link.
All right. What's your other note?
What was your second of 2 points?
Allegedly. That was the two. I told you. Secret Lair should stay secret and Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think I said I had three, but yeah, you go and see if you hit mine. I bet you won't.
So,
I know.
Probably not. My last point really about the episode is that we got several examples of it in this episode, but the Summers family getting to have this road trip together and getting to not only have the tongue-in-cheek moments where Bastion's mother is like, oh, they grow up so fast, don't they? And meanwhile, Cable and Scott, Cable is not only older but also larger than his father at this point. It's a really funny note.
Yes.
But then they all work together and Jean holds the wheel while Scott blasts through the cave and Cable's shooting behind them. It's so fucking cool, and they did a great use of teamwork, and that's my favorite thing about X-Men. You could say that about the Avengers, that they all teamwork together and use their powers together as well, but I don't think anyone has ever done it as well as the X-Men. I'm hoping that in the Fantastic Four movie we see that as well, but it's so cool to see X-Men of various, because there's so many of them, of various groupings, whether it be 2 people, 5 people, whatever, using their powers together in some way that's clever. And they nailed it in 2, like at least 3 scenes in this episode alone. So I love X-Men for that reason. And I hope they don't drop that ball in the future. That's a great thing to keep doing.
Well said.
I agree. I absolutely agree. It is cool when they mesh so well and like fit like puzzle pieces. They all know their strengths. Yeah. At one point, Bastion says the line after somebody calls him a monster. I think I'm gonna keep calling her Diana, and I don't know why.
Val Cooper.
You
the
are the
only
worst
person who has
names.
a scene with Bastion in this episode.
You are the absolute worst with names. We've established that
really
today.
am.
I mean, really.
Good Lord. Okay. Anyway, Diana, it calls him a monster, and he says, "Yeah, but I was born this way." And I'm sorry, but if my little heart didn't want him to be, I was born this way. I was born this way. I'm on the right track, baby. I was born this way.
Is that hadn't come out yet?
Is that a Lady Gaga song?
It's Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Yes. Yeah. Did you guys catch that dance break? Or was
in the episode?
Was it just given to
in your head?
Me.
Yep. It was telepathically fed to you through your own dementia.
Thank you.
And now she's rooting for Bastion. Now she's like,
I mean, honestly, if you saw those sick moves, you would also root for Bastion.
She had to lip sync for her life.
life.
Well done, Brandon. I gotta say, that's amazing. You did a great.
I watched
Drag Race.
a lot of RuPaul this season. I didn't watch all of it.
This season?
This season, yes.
And we
All
didn't talk
Stars
about it?
9 starts in 2
The
weeks.
17th, yeah.
Oh
yeah.
shit! I do like certain things, like but the drama. There was a lot of drama this season, and I'm not about it.
Plain Jane.
Man,
Dawn
Stirrer.
stirring
stirred
that
that
pot.
pot.
Oh, Dawn, what a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
I loved her though. I loved every second of it. But I like that the metaphor continues because Lady Gaga wrote that song about the queer community, and then here we are. I know that X-Men was originally made as like a metaphor for the Black community, but still, like it's just like
I think it was just as much
like just racism as
yeah, bigotry.
I think it was
Bigotry.
bigotry. Yeah, I really
There we
felt
go.
like it was.
in all forms.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah.
against
Because I think it fits more with the queer community only because it's something that like race isn't something you can hide. You're born looking away that you're born that way. But with being gay and in the closet, it's something they have to keep from others, especially in places of intolerance. So I think it fits better, though it might have been. I think it might have been for both. It might have been more for race at first, but I think it fits better for the queer community. I'm not trying to
Well, that
pick
makes
sides.
sense.
It's for everybody.
It's for everybody. Yeah, no, 100%. But like, it makes sense too that you've got the ones in the sewers,
The Morlocks. Yeah.
Morlocks. Yeah, that can't change. They can't pass for human. They can't, do what
True.
Roberto's doing.
Yes,
And,
you're right. Yeah. That
Like
does fit better
pass essentially. Yeah. No, that makes sense too.
Well, it's the idea behind the idea behind the superheroes were inspired by the African American equality supporters like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
True.
X symbol from the X-Men logo. So,
That
fun
makes
fact.
sense. Yes, I did know that.
Yeah,
Damn it.
they were inspired by real life civil rights heroes. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
We got, speaking of Charles Xavier at the very end of this episode.
We did. To me, my
my
X-Men. Oh, so good.
Voiced by Ross Marquand, Brandon's doppelganger.
Have you looked him up, Brandon?
Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
No.
It is.
We'll send you a picture. We'll post it right up here on the YouTube on the YouTube episode. It's going to be on screen. It's going to look I'm going to put it right next to where Brandon's pointing. It's scary. It's like the curly-haired version of Brandon.
I've never had curly hair in my life. I can't wait to see me.
Not even.
Not even.
What? Oh my gosh. I just saw where you were pointing.
Looks like
My God.
Rapunzel's castle down there.
Let down your
Castle.
balls
I'm sorry. There's hair coming from the top,
to the bottom.
like
Now we're
Grandmother Willow.
I'll tell you what I meant later. I'm not going to describe it on this show.
here. I just
All right.
hope he meets his prince.
All right. On that note, we got anything else, guys?
I got a
Are they
question
dead?
for the two of you.
Keith's
All
got
right,
a
who
question. What's the question?
Or who did? Emmy? What?
Hmm?
She
Well, I
said,
said,
are they dead?
Are they dead?
Who?
Are the Prime Sentinels? Are they dead after Magneto did
probably.
his with the
Good
poles?
question. If anyone could save him, it would be Beast, and I'd love for him to fucking come through in this series because I feel like he keeps getting his ass kicked and not doing enough. And I
Well-
know he keeps pointing out things that are scientific, but he's not like doing a lot more than that. It makes me sad because I love Beast. But yeah, it'd be cool if he could save them. That'd be sick. But yeah, he did Magneto just electromagnetic pulse everyone to sleep, including all of your streaming services and podcasting lists.
So here's the thing. Okay, this was established, I at least thought, and I could be wrong. Didn't they sign up? They didn't know they were going to be Sentinels, but didn't they sign up to be experimented on to?
That's what it seems like.
Right.
Okay.
So
He says he omitted.
omitted telling them everything.
The gruesome details.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So, I mean, little sympathy for these people, but at the same time, like, come on, look at Bastion. Do you think, oh, that's the guy I want working on me, or that group of people? I mean, come on. Yeah, you could get what you sign up for.
Fair.
Part of me, though, does believe that they're disabled, like they're completely, like, shut down. They're not dead. I don't think that they are. I just can't see that, especially with some innocence in there as well. Now, the ones that Wolverine sliced and diced, yeah, they're gone. Fuck that. They're gone. But I think the ones Magneto.
I can give you 6 reasons why they're gone.
I can give you 9.
Don't go any higher.
Just 9. All right. So, but yeah, anyway. Keith, what's your question?
Okay, my question to you guys: we all lead. We've talked about it before. We all lead very busy lives. We have full-time jobs. We got stresses. We got responsibilities outside this podcast. What power would you guys want to help you with these abilities or with these responsibilities of these 3 powers? So, telepathy, shape-shifting, or multiple man abilities, where you could just make a bunch of use.
Oh,
that one.
Emmy would have a bunch of hers, and she wouldn't use it against the Sentinels. She would just have a good time on a Saturday night.
Oh, no, but he's talking about to help you with your daily tasks, like to help you with your
that's
your
what I meant.
shit.
That's what I meant.
Work life, home life.
Yeah, no, because I was in my head, I was thinking triplicate from or
Duplicate.
Duplicate.
Yes.
What was the first one?
My wife and I have been watching that like crazy, by the way.
Yeah.
Season 2 is amazing. So telepathy, shape-shifting, or multiple man abilities.
Oh my gosh. I think I just feel bad for my multiple men because they would just do all the shitty stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel, what, do you not feel bad for yourself? Because now it's just you doing all the terrible shit.
Yeah. I mean, but shape-shifting sounds like a lot of fun. Like telepathy, I don't want to know what people are thinking because people are shitty. And I think I'd just be more depressed knowing what people think all the time. And like all my intrusive thoughts, they would probably win more than I'd care to admit. And that would suck too. I think it would do more to bring me down. So not to get too heavy, telepathy would suck. So I think.
But could you influence other people? So, like, I have a bunch of idiots who tell me that I need to do stupid shit for my job. Could I influence them to be like, oh, you know what? Actually, that is a stupid thing. Maybe I shouldn't.
If you've got Professor X level telepathy, yeah, you can influence other people. That's true. Damn.
Ooh, telepathy.
I'd still have to do laundry. No, no, multiply me.
Oh, I'm going to say telepathy now. Yeah. Telepathy, and then I'm going to, like, can I convince myself that laundry is fun? Because I don't.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Well, if you could multiply yourself and then convince that other person laundry is really fun, go do it.
How about this?
Sure, but
since Emmy,
then you've got 2.
You'd always know. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
we're fucked.
Can you imagine
Brandon 69 in there doing the laundry. God, I convinced him that's great, but he hates it.
Yeah, what a dumbass.
I know it sucks.
I agree with I as much as I joke with people, with coworkers. Oh, we just need a cloning machine. We could all just have multiples of ourselves and get this job done, no problem. There's a part of me that really likes the idea of telepathy. It's very intrusive. I feel there's some ethical shit to deal with, but at the same time, I'd probably be able to finish my wife's sentences.
Wow, you have more than one.
Right.
That's crazy.
My wife's.
That is a choice.
That's
a choice, Keith. The fact that you have more than one and you feel open to talk about it is really awesome, Keith. A lot of people frown.
It's different up here.
They frown up.
But no, I could finish her sentences instead of just thinking I can. So it would be like, oh damn, you can actually do it now, and I'd be like, yeah.
And then she's gonna be like, you're in my thoughts, creep. Shut up. Stop. That's not okay. Because you would come out, you would tell her, you would say, hey, by the way, I can.
That's true.
You know, and then as soon as you finish that sentence or sandwich, she's going to be like, fuck off. Don't do that.
Damn my moral fiber.
See, I don't think you're going to. Yeah, that's what I mean.
All right, I multiply the shit on myself. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got it. So when you multiply yourself, is it something you can multiply and then subtract and divide by? Like, how does that work?
I think it'd be much like the movie Multiplicity with Michael Keaton, and each multiple would have different personalities or different aspects of my personality. So there'd be like the one who's really good at like farting, and then there's like the other one who's like really good at like, I don't know, like a push up a day or something. And then there's like another one over there that's like, I don't know what I'm good at. That's what I'm
So,
realizing
but do they
as I come
exist
up
in the
with this
world
idea.
after that, or can you retract your one that farts good?
If I retract him, I would hope he expelled all the farts first.
Right, but I don't know how it works. I'm genuinely like, do you like, hey, I create a multiple of me? Is that person now just existing in our world to the end of time? Or is it like, oh, I want to bring this guy back and now I'm back into one whole person?
I think like if you were to go like multiple man from X Factor, then you should be able to bring them in. It's similar with Duplicate from Invisible.
Yeah, 'cause
you should be able to bring them in whenever you want.
Gotcha. My fear is like I would multiply myself, and then I'm like, God, I gotta feed 5 of me now. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like bills went through the roof because I multiplied myself. Like, it sounds great. We need a cloning machine. I clone myself. Now I gotta feed this dude, get toilet paper for this dude, make sure he can
That's
wash
a similar
himself.
plot
Yeah.
to Multiplicity with
See?
with Michael Keaton.
See?
You should
Oh,
check that movie
I
out.
think I
Any
should. I think I
listeners
just-
who haven't seen that yet,
Yeah.
it's dope.
Well, speaking of dope, we appreciate you listening and tuning in to this wonderful podcast of ours. What's dope is checking out our Patreon, patreon.com/Abingers podcast. It's a $1 tier, and you can support the show, keep the show running. It's really, really, really fun. Ben Clark, Nathan Ellingson, thank you guys so much for being our newest patrons. We really, really appreciate you guys. And
Hell
if
yeah.
you want to join the group of fun people over on our Discord, you should join today. Patreon.com/Abingers podcast. If you don't have $1, you're like, I don't have much to spare at the end of the month. I totally understand. Totally agree. You can support us in a free way. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, leaving a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. If you learned something, we made you laugh, or you just enjoyed the show, or maybe all 3, 5-star rating really goes a long way with us getting eyes and ears on the show. We're also potentially going to appear at a con at the end of the year. We're starting to make moves there. I'm giving a shout out to Emmy. She's doing a lot of great work there. So we may do a live show as well. So get your ears get your ears perked up now. We may announce some plans to go to a con and do a live show. We'd love to meet you all there. So stay tuned. We're just looking to solidify a little bit more details, so should be
You
a
need
lot
to
of fun.
accept us for
Yes.
who we are.
Exactly. So, but we really appreciate you tuning in. Hey, social media, Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, TikTok, Twitch. We are available on every social media outlet you can probably think of. And it's all one location, Abingers Podcast, ABINGERS Podcast. Also, youtube.com/The Abingers if you want to check out the video version of the show. We made a lot of visual jokes this episode. So you can only see that on our YouTube, youtube.com/The Abingers. Subscribe over there. Watch our audio product. Keith does a wonderful job putting the show together for us. So we really appreciate it. So yeah, that is it for us, but we have some credits names to get to, or credits name to get to. I don't know how many we have this week. Keith, Emmy, take it away.
I did one. Did you do one?
I made mine up 3 seconds ago, and I'll tell you one thing: if you're not subscribed to us on YouTube yet, but the credits executive for X-Men '97, Jeff Willis, subscribe now.
He'll be here all day, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I got nothing to do.
That was pretty good. But have you seen our composite artist? Actually, seems to be it's a new type of bird. It's a Christopher Graybill. Christopher Graybill.
Oh, Christopher Graybill?
Graybill. He's also invisible.
Guys, I know you were probably heading over to our YouTube to subscribe to us, and then you stopped after hearing that. Please, I understand. Thank you.
We gotta get you cue cards to show the visual of the.
That's true. There it is. We're out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting. We'll be back next week with part 2 of our review of part 2 of this episode. See what I did there? Okay, we're out of here.
Nice, Brandon.
Thanks, guys. Keith, Emmy, any final words before we call it a show?
Nope.
Ah! Very. How dare you? I was going to run through the notes that I didn't get to that I'd skipped. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. Oh, oh, oh.
I didn't mute her. I didn't mute her. This is amazing.
Not muted.
I
He asked you your final thoughts.
I said, what is any final words before we head on out of here? Are you having a stroke?
You know
again?
what? Race through your notes in super speed.
While
Yeah,
I play the outro music. Ready, go.
Hey,
Okay,
go.
Professor X replaced Magneto in the beginning. I don't know. I don't remember that far away. It doesn't matter if you experienced it, if you remember. That was a really good line that Nightcrawler said. Beast says that his own guitar. Guitar is an explosion that has a whole bunch of like shells and it's like a shotgun blast. Average Joe is Billy Bob Joe down the street. That's who we write our essays for in my class. Smut date pointed. Pull it off. I don't even know what that's in reference to. Pull